Hey everyone, Ian here from Snip to It. After we released our double-sided Print Then Cut videos, some people have asked us, how do you make double-sided text that stays readable on both sides? I'll show you two easy design methods, plus the exact setup you need to print both sides so they align perfectly. Let's jump in. Let's start with why double-sided text is tricky. Text is almost never symmetrical. Even a simple word like dad won't work when you flip it horizontally, because those D's only face one direction. Unless it's a perfect palindrome like mom, mirrored text just looks wrong. But we can still make double-sided text, because the trick is you mirror the position but not the text itself. To make that work, we flatten the text onto a base shape. That shape becomes the cut line, so that anything else, your text, colors, styling, doesn't need to match or mirror the opposite side. And the base shape can be anything, an offset, a circle, an arch, or something asymmetrical. Let me show you two ways to do this. We'll start with the offset method. If you want to use an offset, the general shape of your text has to match on both sides. Any mismatches can lead to cutting off text on one side or the other. A couple of things that can help with that. Using all caps keeps the line height of the text consistent, and block fonts tend to have a similar height and width, so the outlines of the letters will be more likely to match. Don't make your offset too small, and it's better if the color of the offset is just plain white, because any small mismatches won't be seen on plain white paper. So add your text to the canvas. Here I'm using Happy Birthday in two separate text boxes. Arrange them how you want, then center them horizontally. The text may not be exactly symmetrical, but at least the general shape is. Before we add the offset, I'm going to add some styling. I'll use the warp tool for a small arch, and then I'll add the offset. Now select the offset, open the contour tool, and hide all contours to get rid of any inner holes to create a solid base shape. Now select the text and the offset together and duplicate them. On the first copy, I'm going to change the color in the warp layer. And I'm also going to change the offset color so I can show you how there can be mismatches between the printed sides. On the second copy, I'm going to choose different colors for the text and offset as well. Now select each pair of text and offset, then flatten. And if you don't have a Cricut Access subscription and you can't use warp, no problem. I'm just using the warp tool for demonstration purposes here. You can also use any shape as the base instead of an offset. If you use a shape instead of an offset, you can use any font you like, and there's no need to match the text on both sides. Here's a simple example. I'll add an arch shape, then I'll add a text block, and use the curve tool to fit the text inside the arch. Duplicate the arch in the text, and change the wording if you want, and flatten each text block to its arch. Because the outer cut line is the same, the two sides will align perfectly, even if the text is different. Now let's take it further with an asymmetrical shape. I got this pennant from the image library. I'm just going to duplicate it, then flip the second pennant horizontally. Add a text block and warp it to match the first pennant. Add another text block and warp it the opposite way so it fits inside the flipped pennant. Again, the first text block doesn't need to match the second. Arrange the text, adjust the colors, and then flatten each pennant with its text block. Both sides will cut identically because the outer shapes match, no matter what kind of text or font is on the inside. Now that your front and back designs are ready, let's talk about how to actually print them so that the two sides line up. To do double-sided printing, you run the same sheet through the printer twice. The front prints first, then the back gets printed in the mirrored position so that when you flip the page side to side, the two images align perfectly. The challenge is that Design Space automatically moves things around on the mat to save space, so we need a way to lock the position of both sides before printing. That's why we attach each design to a large guide shape. If you want to keep it simple, you can use a square as your guide shape. Just add a square to the canvas, size it to 7.44 inches wide and 7.325 inches tall, which will take up almost the entire printable area. You'll need to duplicate the square so that you have one for the front and one for the back. Attaching your text to the guide square will prevent Design Space from repositioning the text and will keep each side on its own map. My 3 examples are too big to use this square guide. If you need a larger guide shape, you can download my Maximum Print Then Cut Area SVG from my website. It fills the entire print and cut area, and it's good for printing multiple designs at the same time. I already have my guide uploaded, so I'm just going to duplicate it and I'm ready to position my designs. The key is to create 2 different mats where the positions of the front and back text designs are mirrored. The text itself isn't mirrored, just its position on the mat relative to its partner. For my examples, I'm going to do a bit of rotating to make sure everything fits without overlapping. I'm going to use alignment to position my images. Now arrange the layout of your front designs for the first mat. Select the first design and the guide shape. Go to Align Left, then Center Vertically. Select the second design and the guide shape, and go to Align Right, Center Vertically. Select the third design and the guide shape, and then go to Align Top, then Center Horizontally. For the back design, mirror that placement. Select the first design in the guide shape, go to Align Right, then Center Vertically. Select the second design and the guide shape, go to Align Left, then Center Vertically. Then select the third design and the guide shape, go to Align Top, then Center Horizontally. Once everything is placed, attach each set of images to its own guide, then change each guide's operation to draw so it won't cut. You'll see now that each attached group is a mirror image of each other, even though the individual images are still readable. Now click the Make button, and you'll see your 2 designs, each locked in position on its own mat. Select the front mat, click Continue, then Send to Printer. Turn the bleed on, and then check Use System dialog so you can pick your printer settings. Before printing, I like to label the page with front top and back top so I know which way to load the paper into the printer. If your printer loads from the back, place the sheet with the top edge going in first and the front side facing up. Print the front side. To print the back, flip the sheet side to side only, not top to bottom, and feed it top edge leading into the printer again. If your printer loads from the front, the top of the sheet goes in pointing towards the printer. It prints, comes out face down, and the top points towards you. To print the back, don't flip the page, just feed it in with the top pointing towards the printer again. Labeling the sheet really helps you get used to this. No matter if you have a rear feed or front feed printer, after the first page is done, ignore the prompt in Design Space to select a cut setting. Instead, choose the second mat and proceed with the second print. Once both sides are printed, place the sheet on your mat with the back side up. Follow the prompts in Design Space after the second page is finished printing. I'm using the medium cardstock setting and it cuts perfectly. If Design Space asks you to load a pen, just ignore it. That's for the guide shape, and we're not drawing that. Now that we're finished with the print and cut, I want to go back to the beginning and show you why you should be careful if you choose the offset option. You can see here that the shapes are not a perfect match after the cut, and you have some spots near the edges where the cut from the back missed the offset on the front side of the print. This is why I recommend leaving the offset white, so small mismatches like these are not noticeable. And that's it. 2 simple ways to make double-sided print and cut text that lines up perfectly every time, and the full process for printing both sides accurately. If you found this helpful, please hit the like button, subscribe, and check out the rest of our print and cut series. Thanks for watching, and happy crafting!